Welcome to Amsterdam, Kjell. Thanks for coming all the way from Belgium to here. Before we start, can you maybe tell a bit more about yourself and your company, Yonderland?
Yes, well, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Kjell, and by now I work 9 years for Yonderland. Currently, I'm working as a digital solutions manager, and in this role, I'm responsible for all the online customer-facing channels, and with a team, I get to select and potentially also implement the tools and the capabilities our business stakeholders need to realize their goals and execute their strategies. So Yonderland is a group, and we deliver services to 6 different brands spread across Belgium, the Netherlands, and United Kingdom. And together we own and operate across 200 stores and 6 e-commerce websites. It's really the passion of outdoor that unites all these customers. So based on our expertise and advice, we provide the customers with the right quality products they need to discover and explore ultimately, and making memories on every journey they make. Doesn't matter if it's far away or close by. We think every journey is unique. And of course, it's about protecting what we love the most, our planet. It's about being a sustainable business.
Sustainability. So, yeah, what does sustainability means for your business, in fact?
Yeah, so that's twofold. On the one hand, that's sustainability in business processes. So that's a transition towards green energy, for example, but also reducing our carbon emission as much as possible. And on the other hand, it's also sustainability in customer experiences. So recently we started offering our care and repair services, which we use to extend the lifetime of our products. So think about repairing a shoe, repairing a sleeping bag, or washing your jackets, for example. And that allows us to have a positive impact on the environment.
So currently you're user of Adobe technology, let's say. Can you maybe briefly tell us how it all started and how these solutions help you realize your business goals?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's a little bit more than 10 years ago that we decided that we wanted to build our own e-commerce platform, a composable e-commerce platform based on microservices architecture. And at that time we chose Adobe Experience Manager as our content management system. So if you would browse our websites today, everything you see is built in AEM. We then also implemented Adobe Analytics and Adobe Target. Adobe Analytics to track the customer's behavior on our website. Adobe Target in a first stage really for A/B testing, new developments on our websites and new components, and in a later stage also for personalization. We use Adobe Campaign for email marketing, and then we already tried to solve this quest of personalization years ago with an implementation of Adobe Audience Manager.
That's quite an extensive setup, let's say. Can you maybe share a bit of something about the use cases you've set up, maybe across the different solutions?
Yeah, there's a few use cases that we're extremely proud of and that still prove value up until today. So the first use case is whenever a customer would show engagement in a specific category, you would browse that category, but you would not add to cart or purchase in that category. Then we would capture that in a segment in Audience Manager, and combined with a trigger coming from Adobe Analytics, we would then follow up with an abandoned session email sent out via Adobe Campaign. We also do next page personalization on our website based on segments coming from Adobe Audience Manager. We also use experience fragments in AEM to then export to Adobe Target to again use for personalization purposes on our websites. And then the last use case is a custom workflow that we've built in Adobe Campaign. And whenever we make a selection in Adobe Campaign for customers that are eligible to receive an email or a direct mail, we could then run a workflow to also qualify these customers for a segment in Audience Manager, and that allows us to extend our reach towards the website, but also online advertising.
Okay, and did you make some changes to this setup the last few years?
Not really, because last few years we've been heavily focused on improving our omni-channel sales processes, but we do feel it's getting more and more difficult to reach our customers very well. So you see that use cases are still realized, but it's only done so within the tool or the product. For example, the abandoned session emails, our website team, they could also leverage the same segment for website personalization, but they're not doing so. And on the other hand, we also feel that some tools are at the end of their life cycle due to the way that we've implemented them. And we also see that the knowledge on some tools is slowly disappearing in the organization.
A lot changed in the meantime, indeed. Customers expect more, technology has evolved. So Maybe can you tell a bit about the challenges you're facing right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge ahead of us is that we really need to realize that there's only one customer. There's not one customer per channel. So we really need to move away from a product-oriented focus and shift towards a customer-oriented focus. If you look at our organization right now, then you'd see a lot of siloed teams, and each and every team collecting its own data, and based on that data, drafting their targeting rules. I think for content, it's more or less okay, but every team, of course, needs to tailor the content so it fits in their channel. But that leads to offering fragmented customer journeys, obviously. So a good example would be that, say that you bought walking shoes 2 years ago, and you are now in market for winter sport gear. You would browse our website, you would land on the homepage, you would see our promotional campaign for rain jackets, which we are running right now. You would then browse the winter sport gear categories, but you would not buy yet. Our online marketer would follow up with a remarketing campaign for that winter sport gear collection. You would then return to the website. Again, on the homepage, we would probably still be showing the commercial for rain jackets, and at the same time, there might be a chance that you still get an email based on your previous purchase from walking shoes. So that doesn't really help. So to really move from these fragmented customer journeys to these unified customer journeys, we believe we need one central platform, one central location where we can actually collect all the relevant data that we think is needed in the customer journeys, but that also we can create all targeting and segmentation based on that one set of data.
Yeah.
So that's really we call it the enterprise foundation that we need.
Okay. So yeah, indeed, at Adobe we love, of course, unified customer journeys. But how are you planning to get to this ideal state for Yonderland?
As always, it's a combination of people, process, and technology, I think. Technology-wise, we are now building our own data lake on Snowflake technology, which we'll then use as a hub to stream the data to that one central location. We also believe that that one central location should be powerful enough to handle all the interactions, because we're retailer customers have a lot of interactions on our websites and in our stores. So we think the platform should be powerful enough to capture and process that data in real time. And it should also be as user-friendly as possible so that our marketeers can really be in the driver's seat of the customer data. I think in such a process or in such a project, of course, data and identity management is also key, and it will be very important that our business teams have lots of knowledge about the data that we collect and how to collect it. I think what we saw with our implementation from Adobe Audience Manager, I think was actually a fairly good implementation. But our business stakeholders just didn't know how to work with Adobe Audience Manager because they did not know what data was available, how it was collected, what it actually meant. So they never really got a good grip of the tool Audience Manager itself, and that's a pity.
What will you do to prevent this from happening again?
Yeah, so we learned it takes two to tango, so IT and business together. So it's not an IT project only, it's not a business project only. So we need to approach it together. That's also why we are sitting together right now to define the use cases and to define the data they need to realize these use cases, so they know very well what data we are tracking, how it's tracked, and how they can use it. That's very important.
How will the roles, in fact, change for the people working on a specific channel then?
Yeah, that's a question that I get often. But I think these people, or these channel managers, as we call them, they remain the expert and the owner of their channels. For example, an email marketer still needs to know how to send out the actual email, how to fit in dynamic content in the email, how to tailor the content specific to an email, how to A/B test a subject line, for example. An online marketer still needs to know how to set bids for a campaign, how to create a campaign, how to set up a remarketing campaign or a display campaign. That won't change, and that remains their responsibility. The only thing that will change is that they will get the data, the insights, and the segments from that one central platform. So we actually need them helping executing this tailored customer journeys.
Yeah, I understand. And which tools, in fact, will become redundant in the new setup you're aiming for?
Yeah, I think Adobe Audience Manager can potentially be replaced with RT-CDP, and Adobe Campaign Classic will probably be replaced by AGO. and that would then put us ahead of the pack again in terms of innovation. And then also, you need Adobe Experience Platform as the foundation to fuel these services.
I know that Yonderland was primarily mass campaign oriented. So how do you envision, in fact, the road to more personalized journeys, customer journeys?
Yeah, I would take a very pragmatic approach. So I think definitely at the start we will still be organized around mass campaigns, but at least we will be able to fit in much more dynamic content and do it in an easier way. So that would be the first step for me. Second step would be start creating these automated workflows based on the intent of the customer and also on the rhythm of the customer. And we also realize that personalization at scale also requires a lot more content and assets. So we're also looking at Gen AI, how that can help us creating all these assets, but also how Gen AI can help us make smarter targeting and make better decisions, and maybe also do some predictive messaging. That's how we look at it.
Yeah, Kjell, I think it's a very clear story. But if I look at our experience with a lot of our customers, is that it's a continuous process. It's all about, let's say, improving the data collection, enriching the customer profile, and activating it to the different channels. Do you see this the same way?
Yeah, I think there's no end game in personalization. Whenever you climb to one mountaintop, there's probably already another one waiting for you. We think that will be the same in personalization. So indeed, in our organization, it will be important to continuously monitor and capture the data that we think is relevant for our customers, add that to the profile, so get a rich profile as possible, and then have a team that can really work on that profile and transform that into automated journeys. And then the thing that we didn't touch upon yet, but will be fairly important for us, is continuously analyzing the data that we get out of the program, and that we can then again feed it into the platform.
Okay, very clear. Thank you very much for this session, Kjell, and hope to see you again soon.
Yes, thank you.